I'm playing a game of soup, which sounds a lot weirder when I say it out loud. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm playing soup. Welcome to a first to die tutorial in League of Legends featuring Garen.
Justice, by law or by sword?
Demacia!
Garen. The OP guy of League of Legends who keeps getting buffed and is almost never nerfed. True damage for one enemy and a stupid ult. Or when I say stupid, I mean it does stupid damage. So Garen is a melee champion and a tank. Tanks are the units who have the most health and have the most armor. They are the meat shield of your team. They're also the ones who initiate fights normally. Now, the person who initiates fights is the person who decides when the fight will start. Like with Garen, I just press Q and yell something, and then my teammates know it's time to start attacking. Also, there's not much you can say on this guy in terms of technical play. You just go in like an idiot. So yeah, Garen, that's how you do Garen. You go in like an idiot and just attack people and hope for the best. So Garen's Q is called Decisive Strike. When you activate this ability, the next person you hit, you will do extra damage to and silence. Silence means the person cannot use any of their abilities for that period. This ability I like to use to engage and poke people with because it has some nice damage and has a chance to critically strike. Your next ability is called Courage. Passively, this ability increases armor and magic resistance every time you kill an enemy. Actively, it increases your armor. This is very useful for taking damage and engaging an enemy. Now as a tank it's even better because that magic resistance will come in super useful late game when you're going against people like Lux or mages like Veigar, that type of thing, yeah. There's also another passive Garen has, it's a hidden passive, and that is the taunt. The more you taunt your enemy, the more they'll be forced to try and silence you. You keep taunting them and they will try and attack you. They will try tower dive you just to shut you up. Your third ability is called Spin to Win. Judgment. Judgment is when you spin around in a circle like an idiot, dealing damage to people in an area around you. The more points you put into this, the more damage you give and the faster you will spin and therefore damage people. Also, the nice thing is whenever you get attack speed or attack damage, two of the primary attributes, then you will increase the damage and increase the speed of which you spin. If you build Critical Strike on Garen, this can clear a minion wave with one spin. It's incredible because your spin does critical damage. Critical damage is when you have a chance to deal extra damage by striking the vulnerable points of a hero, so to speak. And the nice thing is both your Q, Decisive Strike, and your E, Judgment, can critically strike things. So what I normally do is I press my Q to engage, and then I use my E to spin around them and dealing damage while activating my Perseverance. So his passive is called Perseverance. Garen regenerates a maximum of 1% of his health every half second if he isn't attacked. Meaning, how do you explain this? Okay, if you are not attacked by anyone for 8 seconds, excluding minions and creeps when you get past level 11, you will regenerate health very quickly. And now we get to why playing Garen is so much fun. Garen's ultimate is called Demacian Justice. It is an execute spell. Basically, you choose a target and you do serious damage to them. And it gets better. Everybody, are you listening well? The person who has the most kills in the last 5 minutes of the enemy team gets marked. And all your spells, including your ultimate, become true damage, meaning no magic resist, no armor can stop it. It's beautiful! I call it an execution spell because the more health that is missing from your target, the more you will do damage to them. It's beautiful. I mean, it's like you just damage them with your Q and E with pure damage, and then you use your ultimate to execute them. It's beautiful. So there are 2 build paths I tried out as Garen, and only one of them did I really see a true potential for late game Garen, and that's Critical Strike. Okay, so most people do full tanky Garen by rushing a Black Cleaver, getting Dead Man's Plate, getting Warmog's Armor, and an Iceborne Gauntlet, and then some Magic Resist. Now, I tried that build path a few times, and it was pretty good, so I'll link it in the description. But the build path I'm gonna focus on is Critical Strike Garen, okay? Okay, here we go. First item I aim for is a Static Shove. This adds attack speed, movement speed, and critical chance. But it has a cool unique in that it charges up about 100 magic damage, and then when you strike an enemy with either an ability or normal strike, it spreads 100 magic damage over a few enemies. It also increases their damage on your strikes, which is nice. After that, I go for an Infinity Edge. This adds attack damage, quite a bit of it, and it adds 20% critical strike chance. But it has another unique passive of adding 50% critical strike chance. This really helps with your E and your empowered Q. Then you're gonna want to get some Berserker Greaves. These increase your attack speed and your movement speed, but the attack speed is nice for when you want to proc your E. Proc meaning the chance to do critical strike when you're spinning. For defense, I would work on getting a Sunfire Cape. This adds to your armor and health, but it has a nice passive that it does magic damage to any units in your area constantly. So this works really well with your E again. That one where you spin around like an idiot. This can help you clear waves and get some damage off of people. It really does help. Now, there are a few ways to do this and end off this build, but I would recommend that you get Warmog's Armor, because it adds 200 base health regen and a passive that you get 3% of your maximum health regen. Also, a nice thing to get is Dead Man's Plate. This will take some time to explain, but basically Dead Man's Plate is where you have armor, health, and you get a movement speed buff that stacks up to 100 times. When you attack someone, the stacks are removed and used as damage. This just adds speed and tankiness in general and is useful for that Q damage. Alright, so some final tips. Max your Q and your E first, but I'd put 1 point in your W at the beginning of the game to add that armor when you're engaging your enemy. The order of attacking someone is you Q them to silence them, put your W on to get that armor, press E to surround them in damage, and then Alt, if they're low enough, to execute them. You can try both builds. Both builds work really well if you know how to do it. Like the tanky one, you don't do as much damage in the end, but you are so powerful in pushing turrets because you can just, withstand all the damage. However, the Critical Strike Garen, you become somewhat of an ADC because your damage is so powerful. Really, you should try it out. Critical Strike Garen really does work. And my final tip, the best thing I can ever say to you is this: stop using John Cena vines. It's kind of getting old. Thank you for watching my new video. I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a suggestion for a game character or a game you'd like me to try, leave it in the comment section below and I will look into it. Some upcoming videos are me doing a review on a game called Soup, and I will be looking into playing Counter-Strike Source, the original game. So keep an eye out for that. Also, I'll be releasing a video of me playing with Disco Mantis. So yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And have a great weekend. Ciao.